Why do some people love with calm hearts, while others love like storms? Why do some souls feel peace in closeness, while others tremble when it finally arrives? Maybe love isn't only what we feel. Maybe it's what we once learned. Before we ever said I love you, we learned love through someone's eyes. Through the tone that answered our cries. Through the arms that came or didn't. That first love sets the rhythm our hearts keep dancing to. It becomes a map, invisible, but precise, telling us how to reach for closeness, how to protect ourselves, how much of our hearts feel safe to show. Psychologist John Bowlby saw it first. He noticed how children attach to their caregivers, how every smile or silence writes a code that whispers through the years. And then Mary Ainsworth watched it unfold. And so they found 4 ways that love learns to survive. 4 ways a heart reaches or hides when it wants to be safe. Because the way we attach is the way we love. If you're new here, welcome. Stay with me for a moment. You might find your own heart somewhere inside these words. Some hearts learned early that love stays. That warmth returns when you reach for it. That closeness is safe. These are the secure hearts. They know how to stand alone, yet they're never afraid to reach out. They can say what they feel without fearing they'll scare love away. They listen. They forgive. They hold space for differences without losing their balance. When they love, they don't test, they don't chase, they don't hide. They simply love, steady as sunlight, quiet as trust. Their calm comes from knowing that even if love wavers, it will find its way back. And maybe, when you've met someone like that, you've felt it, the peace of not having to prove yourself. The relief of being seen and still accepted. It feels like home. But not every heart learned that love stays. Some learned that love must be earned. That warmth fades unless you fight for it. These are the anxious hearts. They love like waves, rising fast, crashing hard. When they fall in love, they fall completely. They read every silence like a warning. If you don't reply, their chest tightens. If you pull away, their mind begins to race. Did I say something wrong? Did they stop caring? Are they already leaving? They care too much because caring once kept them safe. They learned that to be loved, they had to be perfect, present, pleasing, never too quiet, never too much. Their heart beats with hope and fear in equal measure. They don't want to control you. They just want to feel that they matter enough to stay. And sometimes, this tenderness, this intensity, meets its opposite, a heart that fears being needed. Some hearts learned that closeness can burn. That needing someone is the quickest way to hurt. These are the avoidant hearts. They crave love, but only from a safe distance. They feel calm when things stay simple, controlled, predictable. When love grows deeper, their chest tightens, not from joy, but from fear. So they withdraw. They become busy. They turn affection into humor, vulnerability into logic. They build walls of independence and call them strength. But behind those walls lives a child who once reached out and found no one there. So now they protect themselves by needing no one. At least that's what they tell themselves. And still, a quiet longing hums underneath, a wish to be held without feeling trapped. When an anxious heart meets an avoidant one, the dance begins. The anxious reaches, the avoidant retreats. The more one clings, the faster the other escapes. And both end up tired, mistaking fear for chemistry, distance for desire. Because it feels familiar. It feels like home, even when it hurts. Then there are the hearts that carry both wounds. Hearts that want closeness, and fear it, too. These are the fearful-avoidant hearts. They crave intimacy but tense up when it arrives. They love deeply, but trust slowly. They're torn, half child who longs to be held, half child who learned not to trust the arms that held them. When they love, they reach and retreat in the same breath. They want to be chosen, but can't believe they truly will be. So they test. They doubt. They dream of love and push it away when it comes too near. Inside them, love is both a wish and a warning. Every one of these hearts is trying to feel safe. Every pattern we repeat is just the echo of a need that went unanswered long ago. Attachment isn't a label. It's a language, the one your nervous system speaks when love calls your name. And once you learn that language, you can begin to change the story. Because awareness is the doorway to every healed heart. If this reflection speaks to you, take a second to like and subscribe. It helps these words reach more hearts like yours. Love, in all its forms, isn't broken. It's just remembering. And every memory can be rewritten with kindness. Stay with me. In the next part, we'll step deeper into love itself, how these patterns shape the way we connect, the way we fight, the way we try to stay. And maybe, how we can finally find peace in the way we love. Love always tries to find its way home. But sometimes, home feels unsafe. When we fall in love, we don't begin from zero. We bring our patterns with us, our fears, our hopes, our ghosts. They whisper through our choices. They decide who attracts us, who triggers us, who feels familiar. And often, we call that feeling chemistry. But it is memory. It is recognition. It is the nervous system saying, I know this dance. A secure heart steps into love like walking into sunlight after rain. It listens. It gives space and closeness in balance. It can be alone without panic, together without losing itself. It is steady. It isn't perfect. But it repairs, it apologizes, it stays curious. And when a secure heart meets a wounded one, it can feel both beautiful and difficult. Because secure love is calm, and calm can feel strange to those who learned that love means tension. An anxious heart enters love with devotion and dread intertwined. They look for signs of distance the way others look for stars. Every pause feels like rejection. Every silence sounds like goodbye. They send one more message. They reread the last conversation. They replay the last look. Inside, they are not desperate, they are terrified. They're trying to stop a heartbreak that already happened years ago. So when you don't answer, they feel it as proof that love is leaving again. But beneath the panic is a heart that wants to feel safe, to trust that love doesn't vanish when it's quiet. If you have ever been that heart, you know the ache, the longing to be chosen completely, the fear of being too much. You love with open hands, but trembling fingers. The avoidant heart loves differently. They love with distance, not because they don't care, but because closeness once felt heavy. They grew up learning that emotions get ignored or judged. So they learned to think instead of feel, to fix instead of share. When love deepens, their chest tightens. They want to run, to breathe, to be alone long enough to remember who they are. They say they need space, and they do. But often, they're protecting themselves from the fear that someone could depend on them. Because if you depend on them, they could fail you, and that thought hurts more than solitude. Avoidant hearts appear calm, but they are lonely. They stand by the door of intimacy, hand on the handle, never fully stepping in. And still, they long for someone who doesn't demand they drop their guard all at once. Someone who waits, softly, until safety grows. When an anxious heart meets an avoidant one, something magnetic happens. It feels like destiny. It feels like the universe weaving opposites together. One reaches, the other retreats. One says, "Tell me you love me." The other says, "Why do you need to hear it so much?" The anxious heart aches for reassurance. The avoidant heart aches for silence. And yet, they keep finding each other. Because they mirror the unfinished stories they each carry inside. The anxious one is trying to heal the parent who was distant. The avoidant one is trying to master the chaos of being needed too much. Together, they relive what they never resolved until one of them sees the pattern and chooses to break it. It's not easy. It feels like losing love when in truth, you're losing only the fear beneath it. When two avoidant hearts meet, their love looks peaceful. But peace without depth slowly turns to silence. They share space, but not emotions. They talk, but not about the ache beneath the words. They confuse harmony with distance, comfort with disconnection. And sometimes years pass before they realize that neither truly felt seen. When two anxious hearts meet, their love burns bright and fast. It is passion wrapped in worry. Every small gesture means everything. Every delay means disaster. They love with intensity and exhaustion. But inside that chaos is enormous tenderness. If they can breathe through the fear together, they can create the deepest bond of all. Then there are the fearful hearts, the ones who carry both blueprints. They reach out and pull back in the same moment. They crave closeness, then test it. They say, "I love you," and then create distance just to feel safe again. It's not manipulation. It's memory. They learned that love can switch moods without warning. That warmth can turn cold in a blink. So they love cautiously, half in, half guarded. But when healing begins, their depth is extraordinary. Because they have felt every corner of love, the hope, the fear, the hunger, the silence. They know what it costs to open a trembling heart. Every style carries beauty. Every one is just a way our nervous system tries to protect us. The anxious heart teaches devotion. The avoidant heart teaches boundaries. The fearful heart teaches courage. And the secure heart reminds us that safety is possible. No one is broken. We are just learning the balance between love and self-protection. If this journey speaks to you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps these reflections reach other hearts that need to hear them. Love in its truest form isn't perfect. It is understanding. And when we begin to understand ourselves, our patterns loosen. We stop choosing pain disguised as passion. We start craving peace instead of proof. That is where healing begins, not in someone else's arms, but in the quiet awareness of our own. In the next part, we'll walk through that healing, how to move from fear to safety, from defense to connection, from surviving love to feeling it fully. Stay with me. We're almost home. And home is not a place, it's a feeling. The place inside you where love no longer hurts to touch. Healing begins the moment you see the pattern and whisper, "I don't have to live like this anymore." That single moment of awareness is a door unlocking. Behind it waits peace, waiting to be remembered. The anxious heart heals when it learns that calm is not rejection. It learns to pause before reaching, to breathe before assuming the worst. Every small pause teaches the body that love can survive silence. They start to self-soothe softly, patiently, until safety comes from within and not only from another voice. They discover that peace is not the absence of love. It is love's quiet strength. They begin to say, "I am enough," even when no one is answering. And with time, love stops feeling like a chase. It starts feeling like rest. The avoidant heart heals when it stops running. When it lets someone stay long enough to prove that closeness doesn't cage you. They learn that depending on someone doesn't erase independence. That tenderness is not weakness. They start with small steps, sharing a thought, asking for help, staying in the moment when the instinct says to shut down. Each act of staying builds a bridge across fear. And one day they realize that intimacy feels lighter than loneliness ever did. They begin to whisper, "It's safe to be seen." The fearful hearts, the ones torn between longing and escape, heal when they stop fighting themselves. When they hold their inner child and say, "You can want love and feel afraid of it at the same time." They stop choosing extremes and start practicing gentleness. They learn that love can be slow, measured, and still deep. They practice trust in small moments, an eye contact held longer than before, a truth spoken without retreating. And gradually, they realize that the storm inside was never meant to be tamed, only understood. Healing doesn't erase your story. It turns pain into understanding. It turns fear into compassion. And then, something beautiful happens. You begin to attract differently. You begin to choose calm over chaos. You start recognizing the difference between longing and love. Secure love grows quietly, like sunlight through open curtains. It isn't dramatic. It doesn't shout. It stays. It listens. It forgives. It invites truth instead of perfection. And the more you practice it, the more your nervous system learns that peace is safe. Healing is not a destination. It's a daily practice. Some days you'll reach with confidence, others you'll still flinch. That's all right. Every gentle choice retrains the body to trust. Every soft boundary teaches your heart that love and safety can live together. Every moment of honesty rewires the old belief that you must hide to be loved. And slowly, you start feeling whole. Not flawless. Whole. Because healing is remembering your worth before anyone else confirmed it. It's walking toward love without armor. It's letting kindness be stronger than fear. If this journey touched something inside you, take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps these reflections reach other hearts still searching for peace. Thank you for being here with me. Take care of your heart. And may love always guide your path.